Right.
Okay, sir.
I'm now going live on YouTube. We're live out to everyone, and I'm handing the meeting over to you.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Well,
You too.
you're with us still, so. Okay, I'm going to welcome everybody to the Parks and Rec Monday, March 15th, 2021, 7 o'clock meeting. Call to order. So how about if we stand, and could we please say the Pledge of Allegiance? Or I
pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
justice for all.
Amen. Pray it please that way. Okay, thank you very much. May we please have a roll call?
Long break.
Yes, or here.
Jeremini,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Carrico,
Here.
Breakovich, Ingram,
here,
Clark,
Here.
Tarango.
Okay, may I have a motion that we excuse Mitchell and Diane at this moment?
I motion.
Second?
second,
Molly, thank you, Mommy. Okay, all in favor?
Yeah, do a roll
Oh,
call.
gotta do a roll call. No ayes, don't have it. May we please have a roll call, please?
Long break,
Yes.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Carrico,
Yes.
Ingram,
yes,
Clark.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Approval of the minutes for the February 15th, 21 meeting. We have a,
We do the agenda first.
pardon me?
You skip over the agenda.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, thank you. Approval of the agenda, and do we have any additions? I was going to add the food trucks and stuff down to new additional. Does anybody have any other things that they want to maybe add?
Nope.
Do we want to talk about the park walkthrough,
Yes,
scheduling that?
yes. Do you want that under new business also?
Sure, that'll work.
Okay, all
As
right,
a 10, yeah.
okay. Okay, well, then may I have a vote on a motion to accept the minutes
I have a motion to accept the minutes
and the agenda?
and the agenda.
We'll do this at two for, I'm sorry. Okay, may we please have a roll call?
Who was the second?
Nobody seconded.
Oh, nobody seconded, forgive me.
I'll second.
Mark seconded it. Okay, may we have a roll call, please?
Okay, roll call. Long break,
Yes.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Carrico,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everyone. The chairperson report, communications, we're going to talk about food trucks and a possible date for the park walkthrough, and possible, do we need a chairperson for the summer fall garage sale? I have never been in one or done one, so I do not know, and we do need a chair yet for that still. So those can be added under new benefits if that's okay, or new.
It's under there. It's already there, garage sale. So
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Can we have a call? Do we have anyone out there in the public?
If there are any public callers, I would like to put out there that you must press star then 9 to raise your hand to be called on. There are no callers waiting on a question at the moment. I would like to announce once again, star 9 if you would like to raise your hand and ask a question.
What are you trying to do?
I was looking more serious.
There are no questions at this time.
Because you can't, you're not
Okay,
live.
thank you very much, darling. Okay, so we will go on to number 8, new business, fitness equipment of Clara Miller, grants update. Is that,
Sure.
do we?
Yeah, I can update. Dave and I met with them last Thursday. They did not have the grant for the new year up yet, posted yet. So we're just waiting on that to see if it's a good time for us to do it and things like that, and work with them. They did reiterate again that they think we would be a good partner. And one thing he did stress, Mike Cole, who's the person we've been in contact with, is the earlier you apply, the longer you have for them to help you get financial support and things like that, that they'll help to provide the services they provide and the reach out efforts that they do. So, but yeah, it was a real quick meeting just to get us caught up to date.
Okay, well, thank you. And as far as the pickleball ordinance, I still have not heard anything. They were going to talk with the attorney to see about a possible ordinance enforcement. I have not heard anything, yay or nay. Hopefully by April, we'll have heard something so that those people can call and get some resolution to noise at 6 in the morning on the pickleball courts. Okay. 2021 events, the Easter Bunny event, March 27th. We have an Easter Bunny, my daughter, and it's a nice size costume. She's somebody loves me. We have Louie that's going to do the music, and then Monique is going to do the pictures. The goodie bags will consist of 3 items. There will be Play-Doh, bubbles, jelly beans, individually boxed jelly beans, and little bouncy balls that when you bounce them, they turn all kinds of colors inside. And there's going to be about 130 of those. The Easter Bunny is going to have so there's no touching, is going to have a pair of tongs that they will be able to assist giving the bags to the individual kids. So there's no touching. The bags will be made up way enough ahead of time so that there's nothing on them, I promise you. We would like the kids to be able to come out. There's going to be a trellis that the bunny can be under. I'm going to make it out of balloons, very easy to do. And it would be nice for Monique the kids could just kind of stand by the bunny, get the picture taken, get back in the car and head on out. There's still no touching. Bunny doesn't wear a mask. It can, but the poor person won't be able to breathe because it's got eyeballs. It's got fake teeth. So other than that, that's about it. Anyone that would like to come down there, it'll be from 1 to 3, Clara Miller drive-through. And any suggestions, gladly, please put them through. I would be more than happy and honored to have them.
So if we want to help out, what time are you going to want us there?
Well, if it opens at 1, if we're there by 11, that'll give us 2 hours. And then because the trellis will be already done, I've got some of the decorations already to just be put there. So 2 hours should be plenty of time, should it not?
Sounds like
Yeah.
it.
I think it's about what we did for December. So,
Okay. And I'll bring some sandwiches and some pop and that kind of stuff for extra goodies for people to eat, because we might be hungry at that point. And I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but the trellis can be put up against the enclosure there if it's going to be that kind of bad weather. It's looking pretty good right now, but this is Michigan. If it is nice, we can always put it outside of and still decorate the where Lou is going to be. And so that's what's happening there. Anybody have anything to add? Or
we're going to use the same unit pavilion that we used
Yes,
last
sir.
time? Okay.
Yes, sir. It's easy and it's close to the road. And
If you want, just as I was thinking about this, if we want to, in case like you and Diane want to do recruiting at the street again.
we were thinking of that.
Well, we have the walkie-talkies down there in the basement that we could bring up to, just to make it
yes.
easy to communicate and stuff.
Good idea.
That way you can warn us if somebody's coming as well. And that way, well, no, I'm just thinking for
Right.
Elle's sake, she might want to breathe her every now and then in between
Take off her hood.
visitors, and that way we don't cause mental trauma to the kids or something.
Well, she's already
But,
said she's wearing a pair of shorts and a t-shirt underneath that thing.
As of now, they're saying that the temperature is going to be sunny and 54 degrees.
Woohoo, a heat wave. Thank you. How awesome.
That'd be way better than what we had in December, so.
Oh my goodness, yes. And the rain held out just at the end. Bless their heart.
Do the walkie-talkies, are they plugged in downstairs or is it
They're just
something?
battery. So they're battery operated.
Okay, I'll make sure we get down there and,
We have 4 of
oh,
them,
that would be awesome.
So
Okay, and then.
Do the guests,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, do the guests have to wear a mask? Like, are there restrictions on, like, as the chief said, like the whole social distancing thing, if they're getting out of their cars this time?
Well, most anybody you see now, I don't see hardly anybody without a mask. And I mean, it could be, I mean, the bunny, they're not going to be getting anything from anybody because nobody's going to really be around but the bunny. And the bunny will have the tongs and the gloves. So really,
Okay.
I don't really see a threat. But if the parents wish, then the bunny can just, they can stay in their car. The bunny can, Monique will figure out some other way. But we're trying to make it so they have nice little pictures.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, and I don't foresee being like lines or anything, but if people start parking, coming up, you just don't want them all standing together.
Right. No, they'll get their picture taken, get back in the car and head out. There will be no lingering.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I figure next year, if it's still the same rigmarole, then, because we have the Richardson Center, I might just book their parking lot because then we would have a parking lot accessible and an entrance and exit that would not conflict with Dairy Twist. And we could have an egg hunt and divide it into sections and let only so many kids in each section. Then they take the eggs home so that we don't have to worry about cleaning them up. But so that's something for next year possible, if that's okay. Anybody else? Or I appreciate all info, all. Then if not, we'll go to Tuesdays in the Park, June 22nd and July 20th. And I guess since I just assumed I was chairing that, does somebody want to chair that or?
I can help if you want me to take something off you, Julia. If you
Well,
want,
that would be awesome, sweetheart, if you wouldn't
I can
mind, that
do
would be great. And then.
I do have questions. I was looking at all the information over that Mark sent. I have questions about it. But I assume we'll make decisions for it as a group on what we're going to do, correct?
sure.
Yes, right. Yes, if something's booked, Tabitha and Paige, and Paige is my rock. They do all the booking and that kind of stuff, and they already booked the dates. I haven't looked to see what we have for that day, so you go right ahead, sweetheart. And if you want to do a few trucks or something, or just one truck or no trucks.
We're talking about Tuesday. She's talking
Tuesdays,
about the
I know,
events.
Tuesdays in the park.
Oh,
but
we
we-
haven't talked about that.
That's fine, but I would think as a group though, I mean, I was looking, like I said, over all the information, there's a couple different things that we can do. I mean, it sounds, if I understand it, Mark, since you've been more involved than I have, that there's almost like 3 different programs. There's the mobile units,
Yep.
the Oaks and the Road program, and the nature education program.
You got it. Yeah, I mean, based on we can do up to 7 events.
Well, it sounded like 2 of them are free. A couple of
Okay,
them are
is
free.
that what it is?
Yeah, on the road, 2 are free. And if you go
Okay.
more than 2 on the road free, if you use 2 more on the road, then it's $400. It looked
Oh,
like.
on the road ones? Yeah, those are the massive ones.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you get 2 of those for free. Then you get 3 of the mobile recreation,
For 150 for 2 hours.
2 of the nature education for free as well. So you really do have really a lot of choices. A lot of, I mean, we can stick with just the 2, but
Well, seeing those are the only 2 days that we have planned for Tuesdays in the Park. I was thinking that, but part of it too is according to this, the sooner you apply, then there's more guarantee that we'll get what we've requested.
yeah.
So I don't know when you want to discuss what all the different options are because of the different age groups. I like the nature education one, but from reading it, maybe you know more about it, Mark. It's a very like 45 minutes or half hour. And the last one we had, it seemed like there was a lot of more do drop in. So having something
Yeah.
scheduled
Well,
would be more difficult.
in the past, we did a nature, there used to, before last year they did change it, even before they changed, pre-COVID, they had changed it actually. Usually we'd always had 3 Tuesdays in the parks. 2 were usually the bouncy houses or what have you. And then the other one was a nature discovery that we would do on a Tuesday. And so it was usually, it would be under the pavilion, and they would have like furs and owl beaks and or something, and weird little like lizards and live lizards or a spider or something that kids could look at. And it was educational. So, and we could always do that again where we have a Tuesday in the day. And it's usually, which means that usually generally it's less attended because it's the middle of the day. And granted, so much has changed, but we would have, like the last time we did, we invited out the daycare that's nearby just so that they could see it too. But
Well,
yeah,
that's a nice idea.
it's usually a very, I mean, it looks like they changed it a little bit again. Obviously, we're not going to be doing the virtual one because we don't have a place to host it. Just looking at it, what the notes they have, but they, you know, the pop-up hike is something we could certainly do.
See, I don't have,
The nature table.
yeah, I don't have much information about the nature, or for either I missed it on
You
this.
just have a little paragraph.
When you use the drop downs and I missed it, I tried.
Oh, I mean, it was in the application page.
Yes, I saw that. That
Okay,
part I
yeah.
got, okay.
That's all I've got, and that's. what I'm
Oh, okay,
gonna-
I didn't know
and
if
then
you
what
had
I,
more.
and then my experience from a couple the previous years. The most similar one would probably be the nature education program. But even now, and it just seemed, you know, nature, I guess the options were the Mythbusters, Michigan, it was a Michigan wildlife nature education program that they would do. So that's what we would have them do. It's I guess the options are a lot more plentiful this time around, or just maybe that's what the village always selected and that's just how it was. I don't know.
You mean for the nature one you're talking
Yeah,
about? Okay,
yeah.
yeah, see, I don't, other than what explains a little bit about it, I didn't see any of the,
I think that would probably be pretty easy to book. I can't imagine that gets as
yeah, I would too. And I
Well,
like your idea about the daycare, get more kids involved.
yeah, especially because it's the middle of the day one. So we usually do that, and it's a little easier to manage. And I mean, obviously, kids get a little antsy during it, but it is fun. It's good. It's good for kids to be exposed to that kind of stuff. And
So,
to learn
so
something.
last year when we did it in the, where they had the bouncy balls, that was the mobile parks
that
one, right?
was technically
The RAP program or something?
well, it's all wrap. This is all a giant grant. It was one of the mobile recreation is what we did last time. We didn't
Right,
do
okay,
the,
so that's part of that's in the country parks, one of the applications too,
yeah,
was
they're
for
all-
that, and then the Oaks on the Road and then the nature.
So
Okay.
the Oaks on the Road is the massive one. That's the one where, you know, you get the 3 selections. And apparently they said you can even do, if you read the thing, you could even have part of the nature experience as a part of Oaks on the Road if you wanted to. If you wanted to combine it all.
I thought about that, but I think the thing that might be hard is we could do it, but it wasn't like about a 2-hour time frame last year. It wasn't kind of like 6 to 8.
Yeah, well, usually, yeah, we do them. I think we've been shooting at 5:30 to 7:30 or so. Yeah, and that would be, so you could have both an educational walk-up table, I guess, is the option, and then also have all the actual play stuff.
Yeah.
So there's an even more options for the kids to distract them.
All right, but I mean, I guess I would like to have the group's consensus though on what we're gonna do, whether it be on the road, on the road, Oaks on the Road, or the mobile. Because the mobile one, I went down to the drop menu and it has a thing called carnival games, festival, obstacle course, a climbing tower, go cache. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a geocache?
A what?
Isn't that what it's called? Geocaching? It's like a.
Oh, geo, I thought it was go cache.
It's like hunting. It's like a where you, I think it's sort of like GPS and all this kind of stuff. And you go and you find things like by locating them and stuff. And
Oh, and
Yeah,
then there was a go fish or geo fish, stick it, archery, go big games, and axe throwing, which obviously is you know, it's not real axes.
Yeah, tragically, it's not real axes. It'd be so much more interesting if it were, but a lot more lawsuits. Yeah, we did last year the obstacle course,
Right.
and I wouldn't recommend that again because I just think it's a little, for the age groups, is a little, it's 7 to 12 kind of thing. You lose a lot of the kids. It's just a little too big for them.
Yeah.
And so,
I was gonna consider maybe stick at archery would be fun because it gets the kids involved,
yeah,
or maybe even the climbing tower. But again, I don't know what the age group is for the climbing tower. How big it is can the little, 2, 3-year-olds do it? Or is it gonna be again for the, 10-year-olds type of deal?
It
'Cause
says
we
the
would obviously-
the archery is suitable for slightly older children.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
well, if you do the Oaks on the road, you get
Archery.
team, you get a mobile recreation, some of the options in mobile recreation, and then you get like the beach ball, the disc golf, or the tie
I
dye.
like the idea of that because I think it gives more choices. with
Yeah,
the theme and
absolutely. I mean, the only difference is it's a little, they say they want it to be about 40 kids, which is hard for us to predict.
Oh,
We can always call that. We can always, it does say on there, let us know if you might have more than 40 participants because they can prepare to accommodate larger groups. So we would just let them know. And I would say that the most kids we usually get is maybe
I thought about
50 or
20
60.
maybe.
Last year we only had about 20 or 30, but a normal year, maybe 50 or 60.
Do you really?
We had
Wow.
I mean, yeah, we were, well, I mean, it was, we had a whole lot going on. We had the bouncy houses and we had yard games and we had snow cones. And so we had the whole show going. But again, at the same time, you do have kids that come and go. So some show up for the first hour and then they leave and others show up. So it may be one of those things where we could accommodate it too, because it's not 60 staying for the whole time.
Right.
They may only stay for an hour.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I didn't know how much you wanted to talk about this today, but let me know if there's someone who wants to work with me, or if you want me to present some ideas for the next meeting. I don't know what you think everybody thinks is best to do. Because I'm new at this. The only one I've ever seen was last year, so you
If
might
you
not
call-
want me as chairman.
If you call the number, they're very, very happy to work with you and to tell you the different things and what they include. And then if
But
you
I
like-
mean also our group though. I mean, I don't think I should make the decision. I'd like everybody to be able to make, you and Lori and Diane and
Well,
Mark.
but then you could come back in April and tell us all the different ones and we'd know more about which.
Okay, all right.
is.
I'll
Is
do that.
okay with you?
All right.
Bless
Okay.
your heart and thank you for taking this.
You bet. You have a lot going on.
And you can always check in with Kelly Psycho because she chaired it for several years.
Oh, okay.
So she really raised the bar on it from a very relatively simple thing to, because we used to have the orthodontist come out too.
Yes.
And they would set up their little shop and then they would have a guy who did spray on tattoos.
Yep.
I don't know if he's still doing that now with everything, but we may want to contact them as well. And we can certainly do that to see where they stand for this year on everything. But it was a whole show. And plus we had the food truck. I mean, so we had quite a bit going on.
Oh, wow.
It was yeah. So that's partially why we were getting such a good turnout. But this year, I have no idea
Yeah.
what to expect anymore. You really are. just-
Hopefully things are going to be a lot more open for us by then,
Yeah.
in June and July.
We could probably, even if you wanted, get us food truck for like the ice creams or something in case.
Like Mark had last year, Mark bought ice creams or someone.
Oh, yeah,
did.
last year I just bought popsicles, but
Right.
there is an
And we
ice cream truck lady that we know. And I don't know if Palate Pleasers is working this year or not.
Yeah, I've got to get hold of her.
And we can always bring them in, and I think they're really good because their food is really kid friendly.
Do we have to get a special permit for that
Nope.
from the council?
They have already submitted, it's not a permit, because we just have to have on file their insurance or we have a form for food trucks to fill out. But if it's in coordination with an event, it's not an issue.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Bless your heart for taking that. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any,
Summer fall garage.
Well, that's on the other side from
Okay.
mine. I don't have that on that side. All right, then we can go to number 3. Since we're all together, summer fall garage sale. I don't know if we need a chairperson because I've never been involved because I was always working. But I know they do, Paige and Tabitha do like the map of all the people who pre-register. Isn't that how it goes, Mark?
Yep. They'll do the map, they'll take the registrations, if they run an ad in Craigslist, they'll do it. The things that we would do is in normal years, or back when we had the old tombstone signs, is I would hang the banner and things like that. And then it just helps to have somebody make sure that we post on social media. But it doesn't really require a chair
Okay,
necessarily, because we don't have to go door to door and ask people to sign up or anything. So
To bring up about when we used to put the signs up for like bunny lunch and all that,
mhm.
you can't do that anymore. Or if we wanted to, we're not going to. But say
Yeah,
like, we'll go ahead and go to like the corn roast. Do we need to buy something now to hang the banners on, or are we just scrapping that?
we probably could. It's a matter of maybe rigging something, which is basically what it was last time.
Mhm.
Phil had just taken some PVC and stuff and constructed a frame to attach them to the signs. I could go out to the signs one day and see if I can fiddle, because they do have the space underneath them that would be pretty easy to hang a banner if there was a way to attach it effectively. And I can just see if it would work pretty easily, like if I could just wrap the bungees around there or something. Otherwise, yeah, we would probably have to construct something like that to get them to work.
Alrighty, so then August 5th through 7th, and then, so we don't really have to have them, Paige or Tabitha, do anything till maybe June or July to put it out there?
Yeah, they know that they're
They already know
way
what
more
they're-
experienced than we are. So
Exactly, so we'll just
they know
let,
what they're doing.
okay, that's, we'll go on to number 4, fishing contest, if there's no one else. Okay, now Mitchell and Diane aren't here for the update, so we'll kind of put that on to maybe April's, if that's all right with everyone.
Yep.
Okay, and the corn roast then, number 5, September 11th, 2021. I'd already talked with Penny Lake. They're willing to do the brats, and I'll just in case, they'll do the brats, the salads. They're all individually wrapped. The brats would be all foiled up. There would be masks and stuff. And the only problem that we could foresee is we'd have to get individual butters. So the butter, nobody's handling the butter thing. That's if we're allowed to go that route. If not, then we had thought possibly going food trucks and still having the corn roast. Now, do we want to spend the money for tables and chairs, or do we want to, I don't see many people wanting to bring a blanket or something and sitting on the ground, but that's a possibility also. So what does anybody have to think? Or we can even, I mean, it's not until September, but just to throw some ideas out there. Anybody have any? I mean,
It's, again, I think it's like everything. We're
we
kind
gotta
of
just kind of wait and
up in
punt.
the air. Yeah, there's so many possibilities. And I mean, I'll say this, if we rent tables and chairs, I don't want to have to,
We need a
we would
whiteboard.
have to say to somebody, yeah, your only job this whole day is to
Is
walk
wiping.
around, wiping down tables every time somebody sits down. And that's not something we've usually had to handle in the past. If we're at a situation where we're kind of, it's not like I'm getting a little jumping around. Suburban needs a long notice to order tables and chairs, because that's usually where we order the stuff from. So
Right.
that's something that we have time on. And if we realize as we're getting closer, if say in July, that things have turned down, unfortunately, and we're a little more restricted, we can go a lighter route where it is bring your blanket, bring your own stuff, music's playing, and it's a little more of that rather than the full-blown corn roast. And so that's certainly the route that we could go if that's what ends up happening. Because we're just still, who knows?
It's up in the air, but there's other possibilities, so it can still
Yeah,
be
we can.
a corn roast.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea probably for us just to essentially have two plans almost,
Yes,
One where things are great and one where things are not. And that way we're covered in both.
And I won't need as many tables because the raffle tables won't be there. And we'll only need maybe one table because I'm just going to do a baskets with stuff already in
Mhm.
them. We won't have all the items donated. Because I still don't have the heart to go ask people to
Yeah.
donate.
Well, yeah, and it's, again, the tables and chairs are not a big cost,
No.
so it's not a huge issue. Granted, I don't know if they've gone up or not in price, but so I wouldn't be too concerned there. I think the big thing will be for us deciding on food service and how do we want to do that, and then what are we allowed to do again with
That's what's
crowd?
going
Are we allowed to have 500 people in the park? Because if we're not, then that becomes a problem. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. We won't, I guess we'll just kind of postpone that and everybody can think up your ideas of different ways and then we can present them in April.
And then maybe in April, we might want to schedule a corners meeting
Yes,
or sometime in May or something like that, where we can dive in a little bit.
well, if you want to,
But I think we're good for now because we're still,
okay,
Feeling
well, we'll
out.
be just April, in the middle of April, so we can still,
Yeah.
like, a week or two after that, because by then our cement may be poured because they were thinking of pouring the cement at the end of
Yep.
March.
yeah, I've got details on the.
Okay, so-
I'll let you guys all know that in reports.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mark, didn't
No,
mean
no
to.
problem. You're paying attention too. You're trying to figure the same things out.
All righty then, so we'll pass on to 6, the holiday decorating contest with Lori, Halloween and Christmas.
Nothing to add. Hopefully everybody has went and bought their 75% off Halloween decorations and Christmas decorations for the contest this coming fall and winter. That's my ad.
Okay, and so do we have any input from there? Is everyone okay with that? And then number 7 would be snacks with Santa. Again, Diane isn't here for the update, but being it's in December, I don't think it's too much of a crunch time. So we'll add that to the April meeting, and also the letters to Santa, number 8. So then we move down to 9, new and additional events. Okay. All righty, Mark, here's where we add,
Yeah.
what I wrote here, but possible food truck date. I know Commerce has done it. Kelly had texted me that other places are doing food trucks, and someone on, I don't know if it was Nextdoor or Facebook, they were asking about possible food truck. But do we have to have an event, or can we just have food trucks down there with no event?
So, okay, I also got an email from a fellow council member, Mike McNutt, about this. So he was also interested in the idea. Doing it, we can always, we're going to do, obviously, we're looking to do them with our Tuesdays in the park like usual.
Okay.
If we're going to have a food truck night, if we're going to start having a regularly scheduled food truck, last year we had talked about doing that, and then council had shut it down. That was a contract with a distributor, a food truck company that also corralled other food trucks and would send them out. And that was sort of like why we had that kind of thing that was brought before council. We don't have to go that route. We can simply do something where we talk to our local businesses, our local restaurants, like Kaya, who we know has a food truck. We can also, even beyond just food trucks, we could talk about do we want to do see if Benstein Grill or Glengarry or Kaya want to do like a restaurant night in the park or something like that, if we want to try and give them a boost.
That would be a nice idea.
And because not all of them have food trucks, obviously, but they can do something or something along those lines. Or if we have an event, we don't have a ton of events that would work well, but always the possibility of saying to one of these places, hey, we're going to be doing this in the park. Do you want to have some kind of to-go box kit that people could come by and pick up and things like that? These are things that we kind of were tossing around last year. We were trying to figure out some possibilities for our very limited options last year. So yeah, there's things we can do there. but we could certainly do a food truck night. If we want to go the route of the company that we were going to work with, we can. It's just a little bit different because it is a contract that the village has to sign. So that's kind of why it had to go before council. And then you do have a selection that you get to choose from. But if we want to start where we're kind of going more immediately local, and then maybe either later in the year or next year, if we want to expand into the broader diversity of food trucks that are out there, we could go with that company then next year, if this turns out to be a successful thing.
I think that's a good way to go, do the locals, because we've got a lot of locals that really need the help, because
Yeah,
Woody's
there's a
down.
lot of, and that way it's pretty darn COVID friendly. I mean, a lot of subdivisions and communities have been doing food trucks for almost a year now, and there haven't been any issues, and they've, been really happy with it. And then this way it would be something just a little bit different. And just another way to get people out to the park too and see the park. But we wouldn't have to do it with any of we can do them with our Tuesdays in the park, but we don't have to, or we can do them as well. And then have also a food truck night.
Okay, does somebody want to look into that, or for the different, or I can check in, if not, I can check into the different places like Glengarry Bar and Kaya and what's her name, Lakaya, and see if they can't manage, see what their idea is and present something in April. And then we can set up a date if they're willing. They could let us know times that they can do something. Is that?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any ideas? Is that okay, or?
Yeah, and we could even, I mean, you know how there's, I don't know if you guys remember, like LIA, the Lakes Area Youth Association usually has Taste of the Lakes. We could do a Taste of Wolverine Lake kind of
Well, that's a
thing
good
or something
idea,
like
yeah.
that. And, ice cream shop, and not that they're hurting at all, but, that way it would be kind of a neat thing where you could even have your local restaurant, what do we have? 3 restaurants, and I would include Benstein just because they're across the street from the park.
Right.
And just say, hey,
It's open.
you want to come on out and we can do a little park event kind of thing, and people can come out and, get some food and things like that. And it would be a nice way to reintroduce themselves, and they wouldn't have to deal so much with the capacity limitations that they're dealing with. And maybe it would get people who've never been to the Glengarry or never been to Benstein to
Right.
see them.
Does anyone want to tackle that, or I just live around the corner from all 4. All right, then by April, I will have a little bit of an idea of what these people are willing to do for us and then we can set on a date with what their schedule is. And we can try something new in the village.
I like that, the taste of the lakes thing. I like going to events where it's like, oh, I just want a little of this or a little of that. And you're not having to order ahead, because who knows what the restrictions are going to be if we say, to go boxes. Well, then you're probably limited at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something. I don't know. I like the idea of the.
Yeah, because I know even Costco, I think, still has where you can go and pick up the little cheese samples or little. I worked for a doctor, infectious doctor. He would go there for lunch. He'd go hit all the tables, and that would be his lunch. But anyway,
if we wanted to, I don't know if you wanted to go just beyond Wolverine Lake, but maybe include Wall Lake, since we're kind of the same zip code. I don't know how far out you want to go. If you want to get different ethnic, I mean, you've got, sushi, and you've got Mediterranean, and I don't know.
Yeah, if we get hongs or something out there, that'd be pretty cool.
well, I can check everyone that I took coupons from, because it did include Walled Lake, and give them a chance to come back and get back to them see what they have. Because there'd be the Mediterranean place, then there would be Lakaya, there would be, I don't know, when they never really, but I'll look at all the restaurants from the
Just
corner.
a thought, if you wanted more than just the 4,
Right.
Lakaya, Benstein, Glengarry, and Dairy Twist. That's
Yeah,
all I was
it
just
would be
thinking. If you want
nice.
more of a.
Yes, it would be nice to have more of the people that gave.
Plus, Julie, you probably remember too. I mean, wasn't El George's one of the ones that donated certificates or something at the corn roast? So, I mean, if they've helped us in the past, I think it'd be nice to
Right.
invite some of the ones that have gotten involved and helped us in the past, you don't want to leave them out.
No, that's what I was gonna say, the Mediterranean, because they were the ones, and, like, the Benstein Bar Girl did.
Yeah, going to our
Bar did,
our
the Kaya did.
supporters and kind of inviting them to
Right.
do this kind of thing, or just any, whatever, if they have an idea even of something that we can do to help them out.
Okay, so I will check with all these businesses that gave coupons for eatings, and Pizza Hut is no longer there.
Yeah.
But, and then in April, I will get back with you guys as to what they're willing to do, and then we can set up a date and then, and go on from there. Is that okay?
Yep.
All righty. Was there, and we're gonna keep the Taste of the Lakes. That was really, really good, Mark. That'll be the theme.
Well, it's complete theft from a charity. So
Why?
Laya does it, has the Taste of the Lakes Area.
You
Youth
have to call it
Association.
Taste of Wolverine, like
Yes,
Okay, we can do that. Taste
a
of
village
Wolverine
tasting. I don't know,
a
something.
village.
Yeah,
or village tasting. We'll think of a catchy name.
48390 tasting. Then we
Yeah.
include everybody.
there you go.
Okay, so, well, then it looks like we pretty much did all that in, and then, except there was,
Park walkthrough.
did we want to set up a day for the park walkthrough? I know we have an April meeting. Do we want to do the park walkthrough in April and be down there and then come back, or can we, I would like to do I don't know how long we have this virtual going. I don't know how much longer we have this.
So in terms of that, technically everything ends right now, as I know it, at the end of the month. There
Okay.
is legislation, but there is a lot more pushback on it in terms of whether or not they're going to extend this or not. Right now, it will be, if they, based on what I know, at the end of the month, you will have to meet in person, because there's not even going to be an exception. The current laws for the Open Meetings Act, there is no exception for virtual beyond the end of the month.
Okay.
But it's very much up in the air, and I know there is legislation and debate on that, and about providing the because really the village doesn't have a great place to do a meeting, because in terms of with social distancing, because that council chambers is, when you count all of us plus the recorder plus anything else, you're at 10, and then how much can that space accommodate? Because the current rule is 25 indoors, and the problem with the village with any kind of open meeting is you have to accept every member of public that wants to be there. So if you had a 26th member of public, you would then be in trouble, because you'd have to break a law. Either you would break the Open Meetings Act by rejecting them, or you would break the health care rules by having 26 people in a 25-person space. So it's a very it's a catch-22. It's not clear yet what the rules will be. If we want to, we can hold off, I guess, on the walkthrough, because maybe the bathrooms and stuff will be done in May,
Yeah.
and then that way we could also check them out and things like that too.
Okay,
And
so
that might be easier, just thinking about it.
okay, well,
And the
shall we
weather
just,
will definitely be better.
sorry. Okay, so May will definitely be over there for the meeting. I'd like to have the meeting over there in April also. But if there's no, unless there's anybody that disagrees, if we don't have this, we'll meet at the Clara. Is that how we'll do it, or?
We can.
Okay.
Are you talking April or May for that, Julia?
April, honey, because then in
Okay.
May we'll have the definite meeting over there also to do the walkthrough and look at our building to see what we're gonna do with all the stuff in the village basement, and see what we have to put over there and see how we're gonna compact it all. So May we'll do the bathroom and the figure out what we're gonna put where, and then in April we'll have a meeting down at Clara Miller also. Is that okay with you, Sherry? Because I know we have power.
Yeah, that's fine with me if that's where you decide to have your meeting at.
Okay. Unless everyone wants to be in the council chambers, it's up to you. I'm an outdoor person.
If we can even use the council chambers again, I would just let Dave, the administrator, know, but
Okay,
that's it. But yeah, we did it last year. So
yeah, we met down there and it was really nice.
that was our first meeting in COVID because we hadn't
Yep.
had a couple, we needed to have a meeting to formally cancel everything. So we did it
Okay,
in
well,
May.
from April then, we'll plan on being at Clara Miller for our meetings unless the state tells us we cannot. So if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
And then May will be our walk for the walkthrough and also the bathroom to see what we're going to put where from the council chambers and from the village garage. Alrighty then, so that's, anybody have anything else they wanted to add or? Then we'll go to working business. Thank you everyone for your patience with this, with me. So we'll move on to the Veterans Memorial Subcommittee. Is Kelly out there or Mark, are you gonna be the,
Sure. We have come to a date for the dedication and it is June 13th. This will be done by the VFW. They will be the ones that are going to be doing an actual official ceremony that to dedicate the memorial and everything else. So it's going to be very proper and professional. We had a couple options of what to do, and so we're going to work with the auxiliary in Wixom on this, and I think we're starting 11 a.m. So we did set a date of May 1st as the deadline for brick orders for anybody who wants their brick installed in the memorial in time for the dedication. And pretty much if you want a brick in the memorial in 2021, we could do a second order this year, but that's not guaranteed. We will also be adding a dog statue that is official. We have somebody who would like to sponsor it and everything else. So that will be going into the garden at some point. And it's just, it'll be a nice addition to recognize the war dogs in that fashion.
Excuse me, you said June 13th, you're gonna do it on a
Yes.
Sunday?
Yep, that's when they've got available. We were really trying to, it's really interesting. Their dates get booked faster than you believe. Kelly was hoping to get them like maybe on a day of a flyover, but apparently they're not doing flyovers very often or at all anymore due to taxpayer concerns and things like that. So yeah, June 13th is the day, and yes, it is a Sunday. And then we were working on a arbor that will go at the entrance of the memorial, or not quite at the entrance, but right near it. And we've met with a village resident who's a welder, a master welder. So he is going to be helping us out on that. Really great to have usual local support. It's always,
Yes.
Once you ask them, they're willing to help out. And he kind of was able to give us some really quick advice on what to do and what not to do. And his first tip was don't try to bend metal because it's hard it's easy to bend metal. It's hard to bend metal in a way you want it to be bent kind of thing. So he's coming up with ways to not only make it look good, but also to be also a little more cost effective. And yeah, did I get everything, Lori?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sounds like everything. Yep. So yeah, it's exciting to actually have a date set. And again, everything is COVID permitting, but we'll have grass in and everything else too. Lou is already booked for that day as well. So he'll be providing speakers and music for at least for the start, and then maybe afterward and everything else.
And then we should have benches. Are we gonna?
Yes, we should have benches by then too. And plaques installed recognizing donors and things like that as well.
that's wonderful.
So yeah, we'll have a busy few months with that, but yeah, it's coming together.
Thank you. And I want to say a special thank you to Ron. He's been out there doing a lot of the shoveling in the winter time.
He brings his snowblower.
Yes, he does. And then Mark, have you been shoveling too? Because
I
know
have.
Kelly
I have
also.
shoveled quite a few times.
There's, so there's behind the scenes people that need a thank you, because, and if there's others that I have not mentioned, I'm sorry, I did not see you out there. So it is due to not.
Fred Meisner and Kelly have both done some shoveling.
Okay,
Fred's been really great. He's got some ideas too. He's been working on to, this is actually his neighbor or a friend, the welder. So Fred's hustling on some things to,
that's
we're gonna,
awesome.
we might even have some like giveaways, like some pens and magnets and things like that to give away at the dedication. So
That's great. And then, I mean, there's always people behind the scenes that don't get notified. And I can't thank Paige and Tabitha. I know it's their job, but they do such a wonderful job of keeping everything together and out there into the media that they're awesome. And their attitude that goes with the job is phenomenal. And
oh yeah, you're right, 100%. I mean, even with the memorial stuff too, they've been incredibly helpful. And of course, they're the ones who get the checks and Paige
yes,
processes them and gets into my conduct and stuff. And my conduct has been hugely helpful on this project too. And,
yeah, there's a
and
lot of
you
people
know,
behind the scenes that just don't get the thanks. And I'm going to start thanking people when I notice it because not that they're asking for it, but I think it's a nice little snafu. But okay, then thank you. Anything else or?
that's it.
Okay, by April, I will have drawings of what will be in the gardens. I've been looking over a lot of stuff. The hostas that we've had in Pryor will be around around there. Stella Doloros are a lily. They're very blossomy. They bloom most of the summer. They're very drought resistant. There's a couple other flowers. I've got all kinds of catalogs. I'm gonna take little pictures and stick them around and I'll email you guys all the different varieties. And if you have something that you think would look better or a different way to put them, then come May, because April showers bring May flowers, and come May, I will be at least, if not, or April, cutting all those hostas at the council chamber. I've got to split those. So anyone wanting to, I don't have a date yet, but we'll split those because those will be put into the planters also. But that's about it. I've got money in the budget. I just have to, I will check with each one of you before anything's done, and I'll show you the presentation and see what you think. And any comments will be up. And Amelia will be the first park to be done because there's, so that's about it here. And then I guess if there's nothing else, we can jump to Amelia Park update.
Sure. We talked about it, the three of us, a few weeks ago, and came up with a strategy. And then I talked with Chris Nordstrom, our planners, to make sure that it would be acceptable, ADA, and all that kind of stuff. So we are going to put in the swing set at the in the circular area.
Awesome.
And then we are going to take one of the play equipment, the big units at the Clara Miller Park that we're going for the grant with. We're going to take one of the ones that's existing and put that in Amenia so that there is a really nice unit at Amenia Park. Yeah, it's used, but it's not going to get nearly as much work there, so it'll last longer and everything else there too. It's still in good shape. And that way we'll be able to do Amenia and get that finished up in a accessible, safe, fun fashion at a really good price. And then we're also going to work on getting like the arborvitae barrier up between us and the neighbors and things like that. Get a bike rack installed and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll look a lot better hopefully in the next few months. And then hopefully if we get the grant, then in the next year or two, we'll have that piece of that big unit transferred over and Amenia will be done. And fun for Molly's kids and her sister's kids and everybody else's kids in the area. So that we'll have a nice, real little pocket park there that people can enjoy.
Do you have an association, Molly, or anything that if the things did need to be watered? I have a promise from Andy that they will do the parks signs, but that doesn't mean like the butterfly garden there and stuff. Is there somewhere that I can ask someone to maybe now and then just kind of check on it to water it? Do you have an association for that? No.
Not that I know of. No, I'm a couple blocks away from it, but I don't.
Maybe I could ask the neighbor right there next to the park because she came out and gave me water the one day.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Nice.
I just
Yeah.
sure.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
That's okay. I just thought I'd ask. They're drought resistant anyway, but I'll see if that young lady can't possibly maybe just keep an eye on the butterfly garden, because the others, you know, if not, I can run over with jugs of water. So
That butterfly garden's pretty well established.
it needs some color. Hey,
Hi, Diane.
did you want to quickly say anything about snacks with Santa or?
Yeah, so we're all set with Santa for the 11th.
Oh, okay.
So that's confirmed. Location to be determined, of course. Not quite sure yet, but he's game for any location. So we're good with that. Yep.
Excellent. then-
And I don't know where we are because I'm so sorry that I got tied up. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to get on this meeting. So are we on to new business yet or are we not yet?
If you want, we can back up and add you there, darling, because I know there was also the fishing contest and stuff. I don't know if you and Mitchell had.
Okay, go through that and then I have some thoughts I need to share with you guys.
Well, that's okay. We kind of just put that off because you weren't here. So there's that and your new business, if you'd like to add them right now.
Okay, so we need to order new hoodies for the village because Paige told me that we only have so many left. So I'm trying to, I reached out to Amber because she handled that the last time we ordered them and I haven't heard back from her. So if I don't hear back from her within the next week, I'm just going to take it upon myself to go ahead and get pricing for new hoodies.
All righty.
And the other item that I'd like to address that people on the Wolverine Lake page had suggested is that we entertain the idea of putting an ice rink at Clara Miller in the winter. So does anybody have any thoughts about that? Or is that something we need to bring up to council?
There is a kit. I don't know if I call it a kit. Kit sounds smaller than it actually is, but there is like a you can buy that you with a liner and everything else that you could put, say, in the roller hockey rink and then fill with water and freeze it. It does exist. It's not that expensive. The issue we were running into, or we were told, was that we would need to have an attendant
Yes.
on site for it. I don't know if that's a certain, if that was more of just a, you would like to have one as opposed to you definitely need to have one. I don't know if that's the rule or not, but that might be something we should talk to the administrator about. And then
Okay,
obviously talk to the DPW about having water available in the winter to fill it and things like that, because they do turn off the water and everything.
right, yeah.
It's certainly, I remember, because I was curious about it a couple of years ago, and there's in the magazines, the parks magazines, they have these things that you can use, and apparently they work. And they're not overly expensive to set up a rink.
No, and I've seen, honestly, I mean, I'm trying to think, I was in Westland or something, and I ran across one there. And of course, they have it in Wixom, but that's, pretty elaborate.
Yeah.
And then I randomly ran into another one someplace, and I can't remember where it was, if it was in West Bloomfield or Farmington, somewhere in that general vicinity. I saw another one. And I just remember seeing it on the Facebook page. And I thought, you know what, we should entertain that. It sounds like people would really use it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be, if it wasn't an
Okay,
issue.
well, I'll look into it. I'll check into it if you think there might be enough interest in
I
it.
think I can dig up like the, I'll try to find that kit thingy. I think I have a site and I'll send it to you.
Okay,
So you can see what I'm talking about.
all right.
And share that with
Cool.
Andy and with Dave and people like that and see what they think.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, we have the perfect spot for it,
Oh, yeah.
so,
Well, it was remember that was in the master plan, was to sink
yeah.
thing, but this might be a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
this
you
is-
know what? There wasn't any attendance at these other ones, so.
Right, so I don't know if it's more, if that was
I mean,
more just,
why worry about an attendant at a ice skating rink when people are playing roller hockey?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's almost like you would need an attendant for roller
You're talking 6 inches, 8
hockey
inches of ice.
too. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
and we're not renting out anything,
Oh.
so.
okay. I'll look into it. If you want to send me what you have, let's like work on that for next. Okay.
sure.
All right. Okay. Send my piece.
Well, that's good. Glad you're here. Thank you. Glad you're safe. Other than that, we were just, there's really nothing. We had talked about a food truck date, for just food trucks as a possibility for an event, just food trucks, like a taste, Market said,
Taste of
the
Life.
taste of the lakes, but we do taste of Wolverine Lake and invite the other restaurants around that contributed to our corn roast. See if they would like to do something special to come, that people can support them at Clara Miller. So that was the only other thing we talked about.
So what's going on with, I mean, I haven't really checked with the opening with the state, like allowing, like we can do open houses now and we weren't allowed to do it. I mean, how many people can be at an outdoor event now? Do we know?
Not off the top of my head. I know indoors it's 2,500.
Yeah,
or
indoors is
25.
25, but outdoors with the 6-foot distance, you could have, as long as you had the room to stockpile them.
But I don't even know with the opening, with the reopening, if we have to do this. I mean, I'm just talking about like the 5K run that I was kind of thinking about putting together.
If you'd still like to do it, Walled Lake was doing it, and Wixom, I asked if we could, they said we could maybe next year if we wanted to join forces with them, but this year they already had it all pulled together. So if you want to.
For the run, you mean the
do their
5K?
run, yes, ma'am. They have
Well,
some,
we can just do our own run. We don't need them.
right, no, but I was gonna see if, I was basically kind of checking into things and stuff.
Oh, got it.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, just,
Yeah. I just was curious, depending on how many people we can have now, if that's something that we can move forward with in the planning stages.
well,
I
that's
don't
why I had contacted them to see how they did it and how they were going about in a safety way of doing it, but I really didn't get much info because they just wanted.
No.
No, they didn't want to share.
Well, I'll check with Christy Ambrose because she
Okay.
works in my office. So I'll chat with her and see what I can find out.
Okay, honey, thank you. And then we can
Okay.
set- thank you. So that's all that you missed. Okay, then, is there anybody else? Then we can please move on to Planning Commission. Anybody from planning to?
Hello.
Hello there, you.
Our big discussion is about the property at Decker and Road, right in the corner there, that used to be a bank, I guess, and somebody's trying,
Oh, yeah.
they're trying to make it a gas station, liquor store, convenience store type of thing. So I don't really know where I stand on that.
Okay, well,
Terrible corner.
it is a terrible corner, but it would look nice to have something nicer with a nice planter. But,
It would be nice
okay.
if it weren't an empty spot all the time, an empty
Yes.
store, but do you want a gas station at the same
I
time?
know back in the 70s, there was a bank there, and then I think it closed when I was little. Has anything else been in there? Or there was a dental?
There was a dental supply store thingy, but that was just, very minimal.
Well, there really isn't a lot of gas stations around that whole area, like over by Wild Lake Central, there's nothing.
Right.
You know, you gotta go up to Pontiac Trail and Commerce to get to a gas station. I mean, I don't know how active it would be there, and being on the curb like that, it seems like it might be a little kind of
Hard to,
concerning. I mean, anytime I go on to Angola, coming from like my house, I always freak out because of that curve. You know, people come flying around that corner. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
what we got. That's what we're talking about.
I'm sorry, what, dear?
That's all we have. That's all we were talking about, that whole meeting.
Okay. Thank you for your input and for sitting through the meeting with us. We appreciate it greatly. So then if we have nothing else, we can go on to Mark, Council Liaison, please, and thank you.
Sure, this will be a little long. Apologize up front. Bathroom update. Engineer Powell was there on Wednesday to let us know the ground has not thawed underneath the new building because it's got a cover because the roof's up. So he's got to get that ground to thaw before he can clean it out and then get the pour in the floor. We were showing the new sink and countertop that we're going to get in the back room, storage room. It is nice. It's stainless steel and everything else. It's getting it for a song. And I think it's going to be pretty good for us in terms of what we were hoping to get. We were going to go originally with in the bathroom for the toilets and everything, with stainless steel, but then we got pricing and it's about 10 times more than porcelain. So we just figure go with porcelain, and if kids break them 10 times, oh well, we'll deal with it that way. But steel's been in high demand, and so it's just not worth going to steel. And apparently porcelain's easier to clean anyways. So we've had porcelain toilets there for a long time and they've worked. So
Yeah.
the new ones will be that way. So yeah, that was a bit of a price shocker, just looking at the difference in the numbers and everything else. So the goal of the builder is to have that whole thing done in time for normal opening of the bathrooms. And Andy usually opens up the bathrooms towards the end of April, early May.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll have that all done, and then we can start checking it out, doing some measurements and everything else too, and getting some use out of that. With the new water fountain will be installed, which will be great to have a water fountain there again for the first time in about 2 years, and everything else. And of course, everything will be ADA. The chief has been looking into cameras for the park and all the park, and not just like Clara Miller. So he said there's some good options there and some decent possibilities. So might be able to go from 2 to 4 cameras in the main section of the park. And then he's also got some options for the Veterans Memorial area and everything else as well. So that was exciting. We approved the contract for the fireworks with Zambelli.
Oh, yay.
We are, and On and Up has also, of course, approved it all. We are booked for $20,000 worth of fireworks.
Wonderful.
There is a COVID exemption in there and everything else if that gets blown up. And we also approved the purchase of Tiki Torches. So there will be Tiki Torches for sale. They will be a little more expensive this year. The pricing has really gone up on them because of supply chain issues. Interesting thing that kind of does sort of affect us, Hickory Glen Park, right across from the Village Hall and all that. Commerce Township wants to add another entrance exit because they have one. And on practice days and on game days, everybody's leaving at the same time, and it is just a massive bottleneck. So they needed to get permission from the village to do that because we own Glengarry Road. So they're going to be working out where the spot would be, because originally it was going to be right across from Laguna, but that's not great. Then it was going to be right across from the village, also not ideal. So they're probably we're looking that they kind of go and take the middle, take the split. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And then in sad news, just kind of want to cover some things. As you guys are all, I'm certain, aware, in January, a young man down the lake. His name was TJ Deptula. I don't know if you saw in the spinal column, he was 26. His father, Tony, is taking that tragedy and trying to do some good things, promoting the use of an inflatable life vest that once you hit the water, if you're on the lake, it will automatically inflate. And the chief has, I guess, had some interactions with him, and he may be either speaking at a council meeting or the water board or something like that about what he's working on. I don't know if you guys heard, it was also in the small column, but our treasurer to be, Kathy Behrens, passed away
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day. She had scheduled to start that coming week. And unfortunately, she passed away from a heart attack that Sunday. So the village is, yeah,
Oh, man.
completely unexpected. This is, of course, she's part of the family that owned Woody's
Yeah.
and things. So
Yeah.
they've had it's been just a real tough time for them. That also means the village is now back looking for a new treasurer. We did approve to hire a search firm to assist with that. But Councilman, or Mike Kondak is staying on with us
Can be though.
to help out until then.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then also, long-term resident Joe Schuld passed away a couple weeks ago. He had been in hospice. He was a volunteer in a lot of, I guess, boards and committees and things like that. And he had been involved in a lot of things. Sadly, the sister of Chief Ellsworth passed away after a battle with cancer. She had been, I believe it was, and she had been in hospice or something like that. And so he has been dealing with that tragedy. And then just last week, the brother of Tim Brandt, our building inspector, passed away. He had been ill for a long time. Tim had been his primary caretaker. So it's been a rough 6 weeks, 7 weeks. There's been a lot of losses in the village. And, I just wanted you guys to all hear about all these things too. And, say personally, just, my heart goes out to all of them and to all these folks, and that hopefully things will turn around for everybody and we'll have more good news to share and less tragedy and we'll do less mourning and more celebrating. But that's what I got.
Well, thank you. With every ending comes a new beginning. Okay, do we have anyone from Commerce, Parks and Rec? Okay, do we have anybody public yet for comments?
There are no callers in the public.
Okay,
the
sir,
moment.
thank you so much.
Yep.
Then we'll move on to 12, comments from board members. Does anybody have any comments they'd like to say, please? Okay, well, I'd personally like to just thank all yous for coming and putting up with this meeting and enjoyed your company. Time is one thing you cannot get back, no matter how hard you try, and it's greatly appreciated for all your input and all the things that you do. To make this a successful venture. Couldn't do it without you. So I guess our next scheduled meeting will be April 19th, 2021, 7 o'clock over at Clara Miller. And if that changes, then we'll get back to you. Then I look forward to seeing y'all April 19th at Clara.
Well, she'll see you first at the bunny drive-through.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there at the bunny thing. So
I'll be there at the bunny thing.
thank you. It's gonna be so cute. It's so nice.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you all very much. Appreciate all your time and energy.
You're welcome. Apologies for being late, but love you all.
Love y'all too. But you made it. That's good, and you're safe and sound. That's all that matters.
Mhm.
So everybody have a blessed evening, and then we'll look forward to seeing you the 27th for the bunny drive-through if you can make it. And just have a blessed day. Stay safe, all y'alls.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
We need to adjourn. I motion
Yes,
to
sir.
adjourn.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, how to do this right. Thank you, Mark.
Make the
second.
motion. Thank
I
you.
second.
All right, thank you. Do we need a roll call? Yes.
Yeah.
Please, Sherry, one more.
Roll call vote. Long Break,
Yes.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Carico,
Yes.
Frankovich,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Thank you, Mark. I was trying to figure